Well, hello to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Remeisha Shade, and welcome to the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. It is actually day 2, and fortunately, things are still quiet out across the Atlantic basin. But the NOAA forecast, CSU forecasters are calling for a very busy year, so still lots to talk about. Fortunately, nothing going on out there right now, but both of these major forecasts are calling for an above average number of named storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes for this season. In fact, the NOAA forecast that came out not too long ago calling for 17 up to 25, between 17 and 25 named storms. That is well above the normal 14. Of those, 8 to 13 expected to become hurricanes, and of those, 4 to 7 expected to become major hurricanes. So that is certainly a lot of tropical systems. Hopefully we won't get those numbers, but that is what it is looking like. The CSU forecast did come out earlier in the year. That's also another very important forecast, and that one also calling for an above average number of named storms, 23, with 11 hurricanes expected. Of those 11 hurricanes, 5 expected to become major hurricanes of category 3 or greater. Average number of named storms, only around 14. Average number of hurricanes, 7, and average number of major hurricanes around 3. So it could be a crazy active season, so let's enjoy the quiet time while we have it. But here's the list of names that we'll be going through as these systems start to develop and they get strong enough to get a name. The first name would be Alberto, and then we'd go to Beryl, then Chris, all the way down to Tony, Valerie, and William towards the end of the list. Even if we get through this entire list, because it's just 21 names, there's a plan for that. We're not going to go to the Greek alphabet, but the World Meteorological Organization already has a secondary list of names that they would provide just in case it does end up being a super active hurricane season out in the Atlantic. But in the Atlantic basin right now, as I mentioned, no tropical activity expected for the next week or so. So that is great news. That means all is quiet across the Atlantic. No tropical depressions, tropical storms, or hurricanes forming or brewing. The Caribbean still fairly quiet, and the Gulf of Mexico, even though the water temps are super warm in the Gulf, in the 80s for many spots, no tropical activity developing right now. I do want to show you, though, where we could typically see formation of these tropical systems for the month of June. Normally, very little action for the first part of hurricane season, but if we were to get anything, historically, it would likely be developing across the eastern Gulf of Mexico, maybe getting close to Tampa, down towards Miami. That would be where it could develop. Of course, we could see development anywhere, but just looking over the last several years, that would be the area with the higher likelihood to start to see some development of tropical activity. Of course, this is just the beginning of our hurricane season. It lasts about 6 months, and the typical peak of hurricane season, usually late August, September, all the way through early October. That is the day where we peak. That's September 10th, and that is usually when things are really getting going out there in the Atlantic, Caribbean, and the Gulf. So we've got several months of this to go through. Of course, we'll be here updating you every single day, letting you know what's happening out in the Atlantic basin. Also, we're going to keep you updated on what's going on in the Eastern Pacific, because hurricane season has started here as well. We do actually have one system in the Eastern Pacific, and this one is very weak. Only a 10% chance that it will survive out there over the next few days and over the next 7 days. It's several hundred miles to the south of southern Mexico, and it is tracking west. It's actually an elongated area of low pressure, and it's pretty disorganized at this point. It's encountering some shear, and it's likely not going to make it, but we'll continue to monitor it because the National Hurricane Center does still give that system a low 10% shot for development and additional formation. So that will wrap it up for your tropical update. Let's talk about what's going on across the U.S. and across southeast Texas. We've still got a big threat for severe weather for the center portion of the country, stretching from the Dakotas through the plains all the way down to northern parts of Texas, including Dallas under a severe thunderstorm watch, and back towards southwest Texas as well. Fortunately for us here in Houston, we are not under a severe thunderstorm watch. We have just been inundated with round after round after round of strong to severe storms over recent weeks. weeks. So it's nice to get a break from the widespread severe weather. However, we do have a couple of storms trying to bubble up out there for the early evening hours. So nothing in Houston, League City, or Galveston at this point, but look up towards Huntsville. That's where we do have some activity right now. So I will show you exactly what's going on in this area. This is going to be up towards Huntsville, Riverside, on Alaska, and starting to push into Trinity. Mainly some light rain for you in Trinity right now. But as you can see, those darker reds and oranges, yellows indicating heavy downpours. So watch out for possibly a few flooded streets. This activity is not severe. It's pushing off to the north and east, but we've got about 78, close to 80 lightning strikes in this. So definitely a lightning show going on. You've got the heavy rain threat that could lead to a few flooded streets. And I think hail in this likely only around a ½ inch or less. So some very small hail possible in that, and maybe some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Overall, the threat for severe weather for the rest of today on the low side, that possible 1 out of 5 risk for severe storms. And I think as we go through the next few hours, that's pretty much going to be it for our severe storm threat. So I think by 8 p.m., if you don't get anything strong or severe, then the chances really start to go away after that. But until then, with 1 or 2 storms still possible, there will still be the higher risk for 1 or 2 of those storms producing some heavy rain that could lead to some street flooding. So still a low risk for some street flooding across the area, especially northern parts of the area. Futurecast showing that we're starting to dry things out, calm things down as we go through the night. I think your Monday morning may have a little bit of fog, but I don't expect much in the way of rain. Even by Monday afternoon, we're kind of going to start to see a bit of a pattern shift where most of the storminess stays to our north, but we will still be close enough to maybe get 1 or 2 storms rolling in for your Monday afternoon. So notice by 1 p.m., a few showers trying to get going near Conroe, the Woodlands, up towards Huntsville, and then by 3, 4, 5 o'clock for Monday, still a couple of storms possible, especially for our northern counties. So if you're up towards Montgomery County, Walker County, Polk, San Jacinto counties, Trinity County, you'll have a slightly higher chance for a few heavy downpours and maybe a few strong storms for Monday. But notice most of that staying off to our north. So biggest severe threat for tomorrow will stay north of us, but that low 1 out of 5 marginal risk for severe weather does clip our northern counties. So up towards Walker County, northern parts of Montgomery County, Polk, San Jacinto counties included in that, and even possibly northern Liberty County. But notice that severe threat does not extend down into the Houston area. So that is some good news. So overall, the pattern's starting to flip, starting to change a bit, but we could still have 1 or 2 strong storms on Monday. Then I think we get rid of that severe threat for the rest of the week. So that is great news. Lows tonight will be on the warm and steamy side, close to 80, even during the coolest part of the night, down to around 79 degrees, 78 to 79 for much of Harris County. And there could be some patchy fog late, especially after midnight. So watch out for that. Heat will be a big deal the next couple of days. It's that time of the year. Of course, it is June where you expect temperatures in the 90s. At least it's not record heat, but a high around 91 degrees for Monday and Tuesday with isolated storms, especially north of Houston tomorrow. Only a 10% chance for a little bit of rain for Tuesday. In fact, we're going to keep rain chances on the low side after Monday. For the rest of the week, only be 10% chance for a stray shower for the area. So that means that we are starting to dry out for the most part, only a slim shot for a shower. And basically our models are showing the rest of this week, much of next week, the precip staying right around average or a little below for much of the area, but the temperatures staying a little on the warm side, warmer than average for the next week to week and a half. So plan on plenty of heat, plenty of humidity, but I think we will finally start to break out of this pattern where we get these big time squall lines rolling in and producing widespread severe weather almost every single day. So yes, it has been rough the last few weeks, but I think the pattern will finally start to change. Well, that will do it for your weather update. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Remeisha Shade. Make sure to keep it here daily for your tropical update. Hopefully we'll keep all those systems out of here for this season, but if we start to get anything brewing, any tropical trouble out there, of course you will be the first to know, and we're going to keep you updated as well on what's happening locally in the Houston area. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.